Hank Mitchell, the main character, lived a happy life in a small Minnesota town with his wife Sarah. His contentment stemmed from possessing simple things: a loving wife, steady job, good friends, and kind neighbors. Values instilled by his father. Hank, a college-educated feed mill worker, enjoys his Christmas season, greeting neighbors and meeting the sheriff. He's happily married to Sarah, a librarian, who is pregnant. Hank also spends time with his socially awkward brother, Jacob, and Jacob's friend Lou, despite not being close to his brother. Hank, Lou, and Jacob visit their father's grave. Returning home, Jacob crashes the truck on a snowy road after swerving to avoid a fox. They then follow the fox into the woods, where they discover a crashed airplane. Hank discovers a dead pilot in a snow-covered plane while crows peck at the body. Jacob rescues Hank, and they later find $4.4 million in cash inside the plane, believed to be drug money. Hank wants to report the money, but Lou and Jacob dissuade him. Hank warns that finding the empty plane could lead to their arrest, so they decide to hide the money until spring. If nobody claims it, they'll split it and leave town. Sheriff Carl nearly discovers them hiding the money. Carl converses with Hank, whose attempts at normalcy are undermined by Carl's dog and Jacob's accidental mention of a plane. Carl's trust in Hank is tested by poor lies from Hank and Lou, leading to Carl's frustration with their secrecy. And Hank reprimanded Jacob and Lou for their carelessness after Carl's departure, threatening to burn the money if they failed. They swore to keep the secret, but Hank later revealed the money to Sarah, despite Lou's promise of secrecy. Sarah was shocked by this revelation. During dinner, Sarah initially insists they return the found money because keeping it is a crime, a sentiment Hank initially shares. However, Sarah later reverses her stance, suggesting they keep the money but replace some to avoid detection. Hank concurs with this plan. The following morning, Hank persuades a reluctant Jacob to return with him. Jacob waits while Hank returns money, finding the scene disturbing due to crows and the deceased pilot. An old man, Dwight, arrives on a snowmobile and inquires about a fox. Jacob denies seeing one. Hank returns and kills Dwight after Dwight threatens to call the police following a snowmobile ride. Hank and Jacob had previously stolen money, and Hank staged Dwight's death as an accident by pushing him off a bridge. Jacob feels guilty about the murder. Hank killed Dwight, contradicting Jacob's belief that he was responsible. Hank confessed to Sarah, who warned of potential police investigation. They believe the snow will conceal their actions. Dwight's death was reported as an accident, relieving Sarah, though she wished Jacob remained the suspected culprit. Fear followed their actions. Hank and Sarah comforted each other. Jacob later called Hank, wanting to discuss rebuilding the family farm after spring using his inheritance. Hank opposed this, reminding Jacob of their departure plans. Jacob proposed Hank buy the land for him, but Hank worried it would appear suspicious. Their disagreement also involved their father's financial struggles due to 2 mortgages. Jacob reminds Hank that family funds primarily supported Hank's college education. Hank assures Jacob that money is no longer an issue, stating his desire is for the farm, not riches. Hank's future plans involve his wife and child, while Jacob considers Minnesota home. Sarah's research reveals the money was ransom for a kidnapped heiress, implicating 2 brothers. Although Hank couldn't identify a deceased pilot from a damaged body, Sarah views this as positive, believing the lack of identification makes it less likely anyone will seek the money. Hank is awakened by a drunken Lou demanding his share of their hidden money. Hank refuses, reminding Lou of their agreement to wait. Lou's persistence and revelation of Jacob's knowledge of the incident with Mr. Stephenson angers Hank, who threatens to burn the money. Hank attempts to appease Lou, who threatens to contact the authorities, by offering him a share of hidden money. Lou, needing money, accepts a partial payment despite his doubts about Hank's honesty. Later, Hank accuses Jacob of betraying him by revealing their secret to Lou. Hank believes Jacob must choose a side. Jacob gifts a childhood toy to the newborn, which Sarah dislikes. Sarah manipulates Hank into framing Lou for murder by getting a confession. Jacob, shocked by Hank's actions, nevertheless agrees to help. They celebrate the baby's birth with Susan before attempting their plan. Jacob revealed to Hank that their father committed suicide to secure insurance money for the family's debts. Hank was unaware of this. Later, the brothers allow Lou to drink heavily at a bar. Lou becomes intoxicated and behaves erratically, disrupting a planned confession. He is taken home, where his drinking continues. Lou mistakenly believes he is bonding with Hank. Hank prepares to record Lou's confession, while Nancy repeatedly bothers Lou. Jacob's reluctance to participate is evident. Jacob's sudden outburst at Hank, revealing Hank's pretense of drinking, derails their plan, and Lou remains unaware of their intentions. Jacob mimics Hank, amusing himself and Lou. Lou becomes angry when Jacob jokes that Hank will confess to Officer Carl, but Jacob diffuses the situation with another joke, suggesting Lou imitate Hank's confession. Jacob encouraged Lou to participate in a fake confession, which Hank recorded. Lou subsequently became angry upon realizing the deception and threatened Hank and Jacob with a gun. Jacob retrieves a rifle, prepared to shoot Lou over a money dispute. He expresses shock at their willingness to resort to violence, believing it won't improve their lives. Lou, ignoring Nancy's inquiries, demands his share of money from Hank, citing impending repossession of his truck. Lou shoots to intimidate, then points his gun at Hank, intending to kill him. Jacob shoots and kills Lou to save his brother. Nancy pleads with Hank to call for help for her dead husband, but he refuses. Nancy attempts to shoot Hank with her husband's rifle, but he disarms her. She then obtains another gun and shoots at him in the dark kitchen, but misses. Hank shoots and kills Nancy. The event is lamented as escalating from a simple money dispute into a deadly conflict. Following the deaths of Lou and Nancy, Hank concealed his involvement by firing a shotgun, then calling the police to report hearing gunshots. He planted the weapon in Lou's hand to frame him for the murders, exploiting Lou and Nancy's known contentious relationship. Jacob feels guilty about the incident involving Hank. Despite Jacob's shock and conflicting accounts, Hank prepares him for a witness statement. Their differing stories are noticed by Officer Carl during separate questioning at the police station. Ultimately, Hank and Jacob persuade the police that the event was a domestic dispute, resulting in murder and self-destruction. Lou and Nancy's funeral is attended by Hank and Jacob, who feign innocence. Hank and Sarah celebrate the arrival of their baby, while Jacob drinks alone and is tormented by guilt and loneliness. Sheriff Carl brought Jacob home after finding him drunk at a bar. Hank initially worried Carl knew his secret, but was relieved it was only about his brother. Hank then helped the intoxicated Jacob, who confessed to feeling evil, to rest in the baby's room. Hank, unlike his brother Jacob, is content with his life, including his family and newfound wealth. His peaceful routine is disrupted when Carl arrives at the barbershop, mentioning Jacob's report of a plane crash and requesting the brothers' assistance with an FBI agent. Hank, feeling nervous, agrees to meet Neil Baxter, who was searching for the missing plane, at the station with Jacob. There, they meet Baxter and Carl. Sarah suspects Baxter is not an FBI agent and believes he is interested in the money in Jacob. Sarah urges Hank to stay home tomorrow, suggesting he call in sick for work and leave Jacob behind. Hank, feeling overwhelmed by fear, rejects her plan, blaming her for his troubles and vowing to return the money. Sarah expresses her frustration with their difficult life, characterized by Hank's hard work, meager rewards, and their child's reliance on hand-me-down toys. A woman desires a better life but focuses on Jacob's difficult circumstances. Lou's death and Jacob's solitary existence in a squalid apartment with only his dog. Her questioning of how long Jacob can endure this anger Hank, who silences her. Despite this, she clearly wishes to avoid a return to their previous life. Hank met Carl to await Baxter, but Sarah warned Hank that Baxter wasn't an FBI agent and urged him to return home. Hank chose to remain cautious and didn't leave. After Baxter arrived and Carl exited, Hank took a revolver and bullets from Carl's drawer. Hank questioned Jacob's unexpected presence in the woods, but Carl explained he'd requested Jacob's rifle for protection. After the group separated to search for the plane, Carl found it and signaled Baxter with a gunshot. Hank then frantically blew his whistle. Baxter's arrival revealed a surprise. He was Lou's brother, intending to steal the money. Baxter shoots and kills Carl, then forces Hank to reveal the money's location inside a plane. Hank's attempt to load a revolver is hampered by his trembling hands, leading to Baxter firing wildly. Hank eventually loads one bullet and retrieves some money. Hank shoots Baxter during a robbery attempt after Baxter tries to grab his own gun. Jacob arrives to find both men dead and asks Hank to kill him and frame Baxter, which Hank does. Hank told FBI agents his prepared story at the police station. The agents believed him due to his respectable reputation and cleared him as a suspect. The agents informed Hank the money was ransom money with traceable serial numbers, rendering it unusable. Hank returns home and destroys everything. He reflects on the wasted effort, the murder, and lies, concluding life played a cruel joke. Haunted by memories of murder and betrayal, the film ends. Subscribe if you like this movie recap.